All right, let's jump right in. As artificial intelligence completely reshapes our world, we're left with one massive question. Is it going to be a tool that lifts everyone up, or will it create a new, even deeper divide between the haves and the have-nots? Let's get into it. This quote from a recent UN report really gets to the heart of the matter. We can talk all day about productivity and cool new tech, but the real question is, what does all this mean for actual people? Keeping this people-first mindset is absolutely crucial as we explore how AI could either empower entire nations or, well, leave them behind. And that leads us straight to the central paradox of AI. I mean, on one hand, it has this incredible, almost unbelievable promise to solve some of our planet's biggest challenges. Think farming, medicine, education. But on the other hand, it carries this profound risk of concentrating wealth and power into the hands of a select few, which would push developing nations even further back. To really get a handle on the stakes here, we just have to look back at history. The Industrial Revolution created what economists call the Great Divergence, a massive, massive economic gap between the West and pretty much the rest of the world. The real fear is that AI could kick off a second Great Divergence, but this time it would unfold at a speed that's just mind-boggling. So how would this actually play out? I mean, what are the real-world mechanics that could create this kind of split? Well, economists have actually pinpointed three key channels that could drive this gap wider and wider. It really boils down to three things. First up, you've got the head start. Richer countries, where wages are higher, are already pouring money into automation. So when AI really hits its stride and boosts productivity, they're the ones set to cash in big time. Second, there's the investment drain. The demand for AI in these advanced economies could get so huge that it just sucks up capital from all over the world, pulling investment away from developing nations and basically stalling their growth. And finally, number three, the price squeeze. So many developing economies depend on their low-cost labor advantage. But what happens if AI can do those same jobs for even cheaper? Well, the price of their key exports could totally plummet. So you see, this isn't some accident, it's an active economic force at work. And here's the thing. This force is operating on a playing field that is already incredibly, wildly uneven. Let's take a look at just how much of a head start the richer countries already have. To really get the scale of this, just look at the money. In a single year, just 2023, private investment into AI in the United States alone was $67.2 billion. It's a number that's almost hard to wrap your head around. But honestly, that huge number is only half the story. The US invested almost 9 times more than the country in second place, China. In fact, if you lump the rest of the entire world together, it doesn't even come close. This isn't just a gap we're talking about. It's a canyon. It concentrates the power to invent the future in one tiny part of the world. And look, it's not just about the cash. This chart here shows the AI Preparedness Index. It measures everything a country needs to be ready: infrastructure, skills, government rules. And you can see it right there. It's like a cliff. There's this steep, steep drop-off as you move down the income ladder. High-income countries are just better equipped in every single way to actually use this technology. And then you have to ask, what about disruption? AI is going to displace jobs everywhere. That's a given. But wealthier nations have strong social safety nets. They have well-funded programs to retrain workers and help them adapt. On the other side, you have poorer nations with fragile job markets and very little money to spare. They're just so much more vulnerable to these kinds of economic and social shocks. And that vulnerability? It brings us to the next huge problem. AI isn't just building a new economy, it's threatening to completely tear up the old playbook that countries have used for decades to climb their way out of poverty.
So you might be thinking, okay, but can't developing countries just do what others have done before? Build up their manufacturing, create a ton of factory jobs, and export their way to a better future?
Well, that whole path is now in some serious jeopardy. And to see just how much, just look at this one number, 60%. That's how many jobs in Bangladesh's vital garment industry could just disappear by 2030 because of automation. I mean, think about that. For an industry that is literally the backbone of their entire economy, this shows just how much AI threatens that traditional path to development. And it's not just manufacturing. The other big path to growth has been in services. Call centers, IT outsourcing, these have been massive for countries like India and the Philippines. But AI-powered chatbots and automated systems could wipe out a lot of these jobs, basically eroding the one big competitive advantage they had: lower-cost labor. Okay, so the picture looks pretty challenging. I get it. But here's the good news. This future is not set in stone. This isn't about technological destiny, it's all about policy choices. So let's look at the toolkit we have for building a more inclusive, AI-ready future for everyone. Experts have laid out a pretty clear path forward. It all starts with the basics, the fundamentals, like treating the internet like a public good and making sure electricity is reliable and affordable. It's going to require a huge push in education, focusing on STEM and real AI skills. It means we have to support local innovators who are solving local problems, strengthen those safety nets for workers who get displaced, and this is a big one, work together on global rules for AI. And this quote from the UN Development Program just nails it. This isn't about trying to stop technology. It's about democratizing it. It's about making sure that the benefits are shared by everybody, while we put up guardrails to protect the people who are most vulnerable. So that brings us right back to our central choice. AI itself is just a tool. It's neutral. Whether that tool ends up building bridges or walls, whether it creates a more connected world or a more divided one, that depends entirely on the choices that all of us make, starting right now. Thanks for joining.